Okay, so I have to tell you something before we even start today.
Oh no, what did you do?
Nothing bad, I promise. It's just, I was cleaning out my old email account last night, right? Like deleting stuff from years ago. And I found it. The email.
Which email?
The confirmation email for my very first job interview. And Max, I just sat there staring at it for like 10 minutes.
Oh, wow. The nostalgia hit different?
It hit so hard. I remembered exactly how I felt reading that email for the first time. My hands were literally shaking. I read it maybe 6 times just to make sure it was real.
Okay, that is genuinely sweet. Also very relatable. I remember mine too. I wore a tie that was slightly too tight and spent the whole morning convincing myself I looked professional.
Did it work?
No, I looked like someone who had never worn a tie before, which I hadn't.
Okay, that's the energy we're bringing today. Hi, everyone. I'm Lena, and welcome to the TalkMates, the podcast where real English lives. Not textbook English, not robotic English, real, modern, natural English that you can actually use.
And I'm Max. Together, we're your TalkMates. And what we do here is we take everyday situations, the kind of things that happen in real life, and we use them to teach you the English that actually matters.
Today's situation is one that almost every single person on this planet has experienced or will experience. Your first job interview. And specifically, how to talk about it in English, how to describe it, how to answer questions, how to sound confident and natural.
Whether your interview is coming up or whether you're like Lena and just emotionally rediscovering yours from 5 years ago, this episode is for you.
Let's get into it.
Let's go.
Okay, so let's start with the most honest part of any first interview. How you actually felt walking in.
Terrified.
Terrified is a good word. Let's keep that one. But think about this. In English, there are so many ways to describe nervousness, and most learners only know 1 or 2. They say, I was nervous, and stop there.
Which is fine, but it doesn't paint a picture. When you're having a real conversation with a colleague, a friend, an interviewer, people want to feel what you felt.
Exactly. So let's build that vocabulary naturally. I'll start with my story. When I walked into that building for my first interview, I was completely on edge.
On edge. Okay, that's a great one. On edge means you're tense, anxious, like something could go wrong at any second.
Right. You're not just nervous, you're alert nervous. Like your whole body is waiting for something.
I like that. Mine was different. I was nervous, but I was also kind of pumped up, like overly energized.
Oh, the adrenaline thing.
Yes, and in English, you can say, I had adrenaline rushing through me, or just, I was running on adrenaline. It means your body is in high energy, high alert mode.
And then there's my personal favorite phrase for that specific interview feeling, butterflies in my stomach.
Classic. Everyone feels butterflies, but not everyone knows how to say it in English. Butterflies in your stomach means that fluttery, nervous feeling right in your chest and belly area.
You can say, I had butterflies the whole morning. Or, as soon as I sat down, the butterflies hit me.
And here's one that sounds really natural in conversation. I was a wreck.
Oh, yes, I was a complete wreck. Or I was a nervous wreck. That means you were so anxious that you could barely function normally.
I genuinely was a wreck. I checked my tie in the elevator mirror like 4 times.
The tie that was already not working.
The tie that was already not working. Yes. And you know what's funny? The interviewer never even mentioned the tie. I was so in my head about it.
In my head. Write that one down. When you're in your head, it means you're overthinking. You're focused on your own anxiety rather than what's actually happening. I was so in my head during the interview. That's a very real, very common thing to say. So, to recap that first set, on edge, running on adrenaline, butterflies in my stomach, a nervous wreck, in my head. 5 ways to describe interview nerves that sound completely natural.
And all of them work in conversation, in writing, in telling your story to a friend. Use any of them and you'll sound like a native speaker telling a real story.
Okay, so now let's talk about what actually happens inside the interview room. Because knowing how to describe your feelings is one thing, but you also need to know how to actually speak during the interview itself.
And this is where so many English learners freeze. Not because they don't know English, but because they don't know the specific language that interviews use.
Right. Interviews have their own vocabulary, their own rhythm. And if you've never practiced it in English before, it feels completely foreign.
So let's walk through the most common interview question and show you exactly how to answer it naturally. The big one. Tell me about yourself.
Every single interview, every language, every country. Tell me about yourself.
And most people either go completely blank or they start reciting their whole life story from kindergarten.
Neither of those works. In English, a strong answer to tell me about yourself has 3 parts: where you are now, what brought you here, and why you're excited about this opportunity.
Let me model it. I'm currently finishing my degree in marketing, and over the past year, I've been doing freelance social media work for small businesses. I really enjoy the creative side of building a brand from scratch, and when I saw this role, it felt like a natural next step.
Notice what he did there. I'm currently. That's present tense, where you are right now. Over the past year, I've been. That's present perfect continuous, showing ongoing experience.
And it felt like a natural next step. That's a phrase interviewers love. It shows intention. It shows you didn't just apply randomly.
Other phrases that work really well. I've always been drawn to this field. Drawn to something means naturally attracted to it, interested in it.
I've always been drawn to working with people. I've always been drawn to problem solving. It sounds thoughtful, not rehearsed.
And then there's what excites me about this role is that opener immediately tells the interviewer you've done your research and you have genuine interest.
Compare that to, I want this job because it pays well, which honestly is the real reason for most of us.
Max.
I'm joking, mostly. But the point is, framing matters. English interview language is about framing your truth in a way that sounds confident and professional.
Another phrase I'm particularly passionate about. Passionate about something means you genuinely care about it. It drives you.
I'm particularly passionate about user experience design. I'm particularly passionate about helping clients find solutions. It elevates what you're saying immediately.
And one more. I thrive in environments where. Thrive means to grow, to do well, to flourish. I thrive in fast-paced environments. I thrive when I'm working collaboratively.
That one is gold. Interviewers love that phrase because it tells them not just what you can do, but where you do it best.
So for answering interview questions, natural next step, I've always been drawn to, what excites me about this role, particularly passionate about, I thrive in environments where. These phrases will change how you sound completely.
And they work in real interviews, in practice interviews, even in professional emails or cover letters.
Okay, here's a scenario I love. The interview is over. You walk out. Your friend immediately texts you. So, how did it go?
The most loaded question in the world after an interview.
Right? Because sometimes you genuinely don't know. And in English, there's a really rich vocabulary for describing how an interview went, and most learners don't know it.
The most common learner answer is, it was good, or it was okay, which tells your friend absolutely nothing.
So let's build this out. If the interview went really well, you might say, I think I nailed it.
Nailed it. To nail something means to do it perfectly, to really succeed at it. I nailed the presentation. I totally nailed that question about my experience.
Or you could say, I felt really good about how it went, which is slightly softer but still positive. It shows confidence without sounding arrogant.
And then there's, we really clicked. To click with someone means you had a natural, easy connection, great chemistry. Me and the interviewer just clicked from the start.
That one matters more than people realize. Interviewers are also deciding if they want to work with you as a person. A click can genuinely make a difference.
Now, what if it didn't go perfectly? What if you blanked on a question?
Blanked on a question. Love that phrase. To blank on something means your mind went completely empty. You forgot. You froze. I completely blanked when she asked about my biggest weakness.
So honest, so relatable, and very natural to say in conversation.
Or you might say, I stumbled a bit on one of the questions. To stumble means to lose your footing slightly, not fall completely, just trip a little. I stumbled when they asked me to describe a conflict I'd handled.
That's actually better than saying I messed up, because stumbled implies you recovered. You kept going.
Exactly. And then there's the classic post-interview feeling, I could have done better, but I gave it my best shot.
Gave it my best shot. That phrase is so useful. It means you tried as hard as you could, regardless of the result. I gave it my best shot, and now I'm just waiting to hear back.
Waiting to hear back. Another essential phrase. After an interview, you're waiting to hear back, meaning waiting for them to contact you with a decision.
I had the interview on Tuesday, and I'm still waiting to hear back. They said they'd reach out by Friday. Reach out means to contact someone.
So the post-interview vocabulary. I nailed it. We really clicked. I blanked on a question. I stumbled a bit. I gave it my best shot. Waiting to hear back. They'll reach out. All of these make your storytelling sound completely natural and real.
And honestly, these phrases go way beyond interviews. Nailed it, blanked, gave it my best shot. You'll use these in so many everyday conversations.
All right, let's talk about the mistakes, because this is where real learning happens.
The mistakes section is my favorite part, because these are things that make people sound unnatural. Not wrong exactly, but just slightly off. And fixing them makes a huge difference.
First mistake, saying, I am very exciting about this opportunity.
Ooh, so close, so painful.
The correct version is, I am very excited about this opportunity. Excited, not exciting. Exciting describes the thing. Excited describes how you feel.
The job is exciting. The job creates the feeling. I am excited. You have the feeling. Common mix-up, easy fix, but it stands out immediately to a native speaker.
Second mistake, saying, I have experience in this work since 3 years.
This one's a grammar issue. The correct version is, I have had experience in this work for 3 years. Or more naturally, I've been doing this for 3 years.
Since is used with a specific point in time. For is used with a duration. I've been working in sales since 2021. I've been working in sales for 4 years.
Those two words trip up almost every intermediate learner. Since versus for. It's worth drilling.
Third mistake, and this is a cultural one as much as a language one. Being too modest.
Yes. In many cultures, it's polite to downplay your achievements. But in English language interviews, especially in Western professional contexts, that can work against you.
Saying, oh, I'm not very experienced, but I'll try my best, actually signals low confidence. Instead, I'm still building my experience, but I bring a strong work ethic and a fast learning curve.
Same truth, completely different energy. You're not lying, you're framing.
Fourth mistake, using make instead of do, or vice versa. I make my best instead of I do my best, or I did a good job versus I made a good job.
In English, do your best, do a good job, do research, make a decision, make a mistake, make an effort. They don't follow a perfect logic rule, but those combinations are fixed.
Practice them as phrases, not as grammar rules. Your brain will learn the patterns faster that way.
And the last mistake, saying, I want to grow up in this company.
Oh, this one.
Grow up means to become an adult. What you mean is, I want to grow within this company, or I'm looking to grow professionally in this role.
Grow up, becoming an adult. Grow within, developing your career. One word makes a very different sentence.
These are the kinds of small things that separate good English from natural English. And that's exactly why we're here.
Okay, this is the part where you actually participate. Don't just listen, respond. Out loud if you can.
Yes, please. If you're on the bus and people stare at you, that's fine. You're learning English. Own it.
We're going to give you interview questions, and we want you to answer them using the phrases we taught today. Ready?
Question 1. The interviewer says, "So, tell me about yourself." Pause here. Answer out loud. Use what you learned. I've always been drawn to. What excites me about this role?
Take your time. Really say it. Even 30 seconds out loud does more than 5 minutes of reading.
Question 2. Your friend texts you after the interview. How did it go? Tell them honestly. Did you nail it? Did you stumble? Did you give it your best shot? Use those phrases.
And question 3, describe how you felt walking into your first interview or a big moment in your life. Use on edge, butterflies in my stomach, running on adrenaline, a nervous wreck.
Notice we're not giving you scripts. We want you to build your own sentences. That's where real fluency comes from. Not memorizing phrases, but making them yours.
If you want to share your answers, drop them in the comments. We genuinely read them. And sometimes we respond.
We do. We love seeing what you come up with. It's honestly one of our favorite parts of making this podcast.
And if you want an extra challenge, record yourself answering question 1. Play it back. Notice where you hesitate. Notice what felt natural. That self-awareness is everything when you're building confidence in English.
Do it once. I promise it's less painful than you think. And the second time is always better.
Okay, let's land this plane. Today was a big one.
It really was. We covered a lot of ground, and all of it is immediately usable.
We started with how to describe your feelings before and during an interview. On edge, butterflies in my stomach, running on adrenaline, a nervous wreck in my head.
Then we went inside the interview and built language for answering questions naturally. I've always been drawn to. I thrive in environments where. What excites me about this role? A natural next step.
Then we talked about how to describe the interview after it happens. I nailed it. I stumbled. I blanked. I gave it my best shot, waiting to hear back.
We fixed some really common mistakes. Excited versus exciting, since versus for, grow up versus grow within, and the make versus do confusion.
And we practiced, actually practiced, which is the whole point.
Here's what I want you to take away from today. Your first interview, in any language, is scary. In English, it can feel even scarier. But having the right words makes you feel more prepared. And feeling more prepared makes you perform better.
Language gives you confidence. That's the whole reason we do this. Not just to teach you words, but to give you something you can actually stand on when the moment comes.
Whether your interview is tomorrow or 5 years from now, the phrases from today will serve you. Keep them. Practice them. Make them yours.
And if you're listening to this right before an interview, you've got this. Seriously. You prepared. You showed up. that already puts you ahead.
If this episode helped you, share it with someone who has an interview coming up. Subscribe if you haven't already, and leave us a comment. Tell us your interview story. We want to hear it.
We'll be back next day with another real, natural, cinematic English conversation. Until then, keep talking, keep practicing, and keep showing up for yourself.
See you next time.